The sun dipped below the horizon, casting long, eerie shadows across the quiet suburban neighborhood of Pinewood Heights. It was a place where everyone knew each other, or at least thought they did. Among its residents was Zachary Conner, a beloved high school football coach known for his inspiring leadership and unwavering dedication to his team. To his players and neighbors, Zachary seemed nothing short of a hero. His face often graced the local newspaper's sports section, celebrating another victory or recounting a motivational speech. Parents trusted him implicitly, seeing him as a mentor to their children. But behind the veneer of this respectable life, Zachary harbored secrets that would soon unravel his carefully constructed facade. It all began with an anonymous tip received by Detective Laura Mills, a seasoned investigator known for her sharp intuition and relentless pursuit of truth. The note was cryptic but alarming. "The coach isn't who he seems. Dig deeper." Intrigued and cautious, Laura decided to take a closer look at Zachary's seemingly perfect life. Under cover of night, Laura found herself parked outside Zachary's modest bungalow. Her instincts buzzed with the familiar thrill of an impending discovery. Peering through binoculars, she observed Zachary through the living room window. He sat alone in dim light, poring over what appeared to be financial documents, a curious sight for a coach. Her investigation deepened when she approached the high school's administration under the guise of reviewing athletic programs. What she uncovered were discrepancies in funding records, unaccounted transactions that raised more questions than answers. It seemed money was flowing into accounts that shouldn't exist. As Laura delved further into Zachary's past, she discovered a pattern of short-lived residences and inexplicable travel during off-seasons. His former colleagues described him as charismatic yet elusive, a man who could charm his way into anyone's trust but never formed lasting bonds. The breakthrough came unexpectedly when a former player confided in Laura about secretive meetings that Zachary held off campus. "He called them strategy sessions," the player revealed nervously, "but we never talked about football." Just as Laura began piecing together the puzzle, a sudden twist emerged. Zachary vanished without a trace. His house was found eerily empty, save for a single envelope addressed to the truth seeker. Inside it was a note: "You're closer than you think." The room fell silent as Laura read those words, a chill running down her spine. What was Zachary hiding? And who was pulling the strings in this shadowy game of deception? As Detective Mills stood in the deserted living room, one thing was clear. This mystery was just beginning. Detective Laura Mills stood in the dimly lit living room of the deserted bungalow. Zachary Conner was gone, leaving behind only a cryptic note. The words, "You're closer than you think," echoed in her mind as she contemplated her next move. The air was thick with anticipation, and Laura knew she was not alone in her pursuit of the truth. The investigation had taken a dramatic turn with Zachary's sudden disappearance, but Laura had no intention of letting him slip through the cracks. With the discrepancies in funding records and mysterious meetings already raising red flags, she needed a stronger play, a trap that would lure Zachary out of hiding. Enter Special Agent Marcus Hale, a seasoned operative from the Cybercrime Division with an uncanny ability to infiltrate the darkest corners of the internet. Laura and Marcus devised an elaborate sting operation designed to expose online predators. They suspected Zachary was not working alone, and their plan required drawing both him and his accomplice, Emily, a tech-savvy former student, into their web. Under the guise of a lucrative online coaching opportunity, Marcus set up a fake network of sports enthusiasts seeking guidance from top-tier coaches. The offer promised anonymity and substantial payment transfers through encrypted channels, something Zachary couldn't resist. Emily, known for her hacking skills, was drawn in by an irresistible challenge, breaching what appeared to be a high-security financial institution. Little did she know that every keystroke was being monitored by federal agents lying in wait. The trap was set, but it required patience and precision. Over several weeks, digital breadcrumbs were carefully laid out to lead Zachary and Emily deeper into the scheme. Every interaction was recorded, every conversation analyzed for clues about their broader network. Then came the night of reckoning. Laura and Marcus watched from a surveillance van parked discreetly in Pinewood Heights as Zachary logged into the fake network from his laptop. Emily's cyber intrusion attempt triggered alarms on their end, confirmation that both had taken the bait. As federal agents moved in on their locations simultaneously, Laura felt a mix of triumph and apprehension. The operation was a success, but questions remained about who else might be involved. As Zachary was escorted away in handcuffs, he turned to Laura with a sinister smile and said, "This is bigger than you think." With those words hanging in the air, Chapter 2 closes on another chilling twist, suggesting that while Zachary and Emily were caught, the real masterminds behind this shadowy operation might still be at large. As the cold steel of the handcuffs clicked shut around Zachary Conner's wrists, Detective Laura Mills felt a fleeting moment of satisfaction. But his haunting words from the previous night still echoed in her mind. This is bigger than you think. She was left wondering just how deep this rabbit hole went. In the early morning haze, the convoy of law enforcement vehicles moved with quiet precision to the prearranged meeting point, an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of Pinewood Heights. The eerie silence was palpable, broken only by the crunch of gravel underfoot as agents took their positions. Inside the warehouse, a small team including Special Agent Marcus Hale worked quickly and methodically, securing evidence and ensuring that every possible escape route was covered. Outside, Laura's heart pounded with anticipation. The operation had led them here, but what exactly they would find remained an unsettling mystery. Finally, as dawn began to break, a nondescript sedan approached the warehouse. The driver, a woman in her late 20s with sharp features and a determined expression, was none other than Emily. Her car rolled to a stop just outside the entrance, and Laura watched intently as agents surrounded the vehicle. The moment felt surreal as Emily was ordered out of the car and placed under arrest. Her defiant glare mirrored Zachary's confident demeanor from the night before. The duo had been smart and elusive, but their arrogance had been their undoing. With Emily detained, law enforcement turned their attention to her vehicle. As they began their search, tension hung thick in the air. What they found sent ripples of shock through the assembled team. Hidden beneath false panels in the trunk were several hard drives and laptops, each stamped with logos from major financial institutions. These weren't just stolen devices. They contained sensitive information that could unravel countless lives if it fell into the wrong hands. Next to them lay a collection of forged passports and identification documents, hinting at an operation far more sophisticated than anyone had anticipated. It was clear now that Zachary and Emily were operating under a wider network, one that spanned beyond Pinewood Heights. Detective Mills exchanged a grim look with Marcus Hale as they processed this revelation. The evidence suggested ties to international cybercrime syndicates, raising questions about how deeply involved Zachary and Emily truly were, and who else might be pulling the strings. As agents continued to catalog the contents of Emily's vehicle, Laura couldn't shake a growing sense of unease. Her instincts told her that this was only scratching the surface. Then came another unexpected twist. Wedged between two hard drives was a black envelope marked urgently with her name. Its contents would undoubtedly lead to more questions than answers, but Laura knew she had no choice but to open it. With a deep breath, she carefully extracted a single sheet of paper from within. It read, "You've caught 2 pawns. Now find the king." The message sent a chill down her spine, a clear indication that this game was far from over. Chapter 3 closes with Detective Mills standing amidst the unfolding chaos, a new path laid before her in this intricate web of deception. As she pondered her next move, it was clear that uncovering the true mastermind behind these events would be her greatest challenge yet. Detective Laura Mills stood amidst the controlled chaos of the makeshift command center within the abandoned warehouse. The discovery of hidden hard drives and forged documents in Emily's vehicle had shifted the focus of their investigation from a local scandal to a potential international conspiracy. Every agent buzzed with urgency, piecing together the fragments of what now appeared to be a vast network of deceit. Laura's gaze returned to the black envelope that bore her name, its ominous message still fresh in her mind. You've caught two pawns. Now find the king. It was a chilling reminder that Zachary and Emily were merely small players in a much larger game. With the FBI's cybercrime division on high alert, every piece of data recovered was being analyzed for connections to broader criminal activities. As the morning light filtered through the warehouse's dusty windows, Laura conferred with Special Agent Marcus Hale. We need to trace these hard drives back to their source, Marcus said, his voice tinged with determination. There's a digital trail here, and whoever orchestrated this has left a signature somewhere. Laura nodded, her mind racing through possibilities. The notion that Zachary's exploitation could be part of something more sinister fueled her resolve. She remembered his sinister smile and cryptic words during his arrest, hinting at layers they had yet to uncover. Their next lead came from an unexpected source. While combing through encrypted files on one of the laptops, Agent Hale stumbled upon coded emails, communications between Zachary and an anonymous figure referred to only as the broker. These exchanges discussed transfers and exchanges of sensitive data under code names like Project Falcon and Operation Nightfall. Laura felt a surge of adrenaline. This was what they needed, a thread to pull at that might unravel the entire tapestry. She quickly organized a team dedicated to decoding these messages and identifying their origin. Meanwhile, Emily's interrogation revealed little. Her silence was steadfast, her loyalty to Zachary unyielding. But her defiance only spurred Laura further, confirming that there was indeed more at stake than what appeared on the surface. The breakthrough came when analysts deciphered coordinates embedded in one of the broker's emails, coordinates pointing to an offshore location known for housing clandestine operations. It was a lead too significant to ignore. As Laura prepared for the next phase of their investigation, a joint task force operation targeting this mysterious site, she couldn't shake the feeling of being watched, as if someone were always one step ahead. The chapter culminates in a tense briefing room scene where Laura outlines their plan to infiltrate the offshore facility, hoping it will finally lead them to the elusive king. As she looks around at her assembled team, resolve steals her voice. We need answers, and we need them fast. But just as they're about to move out, a sudden phone call freezes them in place. It's from an informant claiming intimate knowledge of the broker's operations, offering critical information, but only if they meet under specific conditions. Chapter 4, Detective Laura Mills stood before the imposing courthouse, the weight of the case heavy upon her shoulders. The courthouse buzzed with anticipation as the trial of Zachary Conner and Emily unfolded before a captivated audience. The charges against them, fraud, conspiracy, and cybercrimes, were laid bare, each revelation more shocking than the last. Inside the courtroom, Laura watched as witnesses recounted their interactions with Zachary and Emily. The prosecutor painted a damning picture of how these two manipulated their trusted positions to orchestrate a criminal network that stretched far beyond Pinewood Heights. Yet, even as the evidence mounted, Laura's mind drifted back to that cryptic note. You've caught two pawns. Now find the king. The trial was a relentless march towards justice. With each testimony, the jury seemed more resolute, swayed by the undeniable proof of guilt. But for Laura, the sense of unease lingered. Who was the broker? Did they have any leads that could point to this elusive figure? As the verdict was delivered, a unanimous guilty on all counts, the courtroom erupted into a flurry of emotions. Relief washed over victims and their families, yet Laura remained pensive. She knew this was only part of a larger puzzle. Back at her office, Laura sifted through files and notes once more. Her instincts told her there was more to uncover. Then came a breakthrough. A forensic analysis of Emily's laptop revealed an untraceable email thread, messages between Emily and another mysterious entity identified only as Oracle, hinting at another layer in this conspiracy. Laura convened with Special Agent Marcus Hale. We need to track down this Oracle, Marcus said, his tone as determined as ever. Oracle could be our key to the broker, Laura replied, feeling a renewed sense of urgency. Their investigation turned global as they followed digital trails across continents, connecting dots between shell corporations and encrypted accounts. Despite setbacks and dead ends, each step brought them closer to understanding the vastness of this network. Finally, an unexpected ally emerged, a whistleblower from within Oracle's organization. This person provided vital information that led Laura and Marcus to a nondescript office in Geneva, a front for illicit operations tied to the broker. As they orchestrated a raid on the facility with international law enforcement cooperation, Laura realized how deeply Zachary and Emily had been entangled in this web. The operation was a success. Arrests were made, files confiscated, and servers secured. Among them was evidence implicating several high-profile figures, an unveiling that shook global financial markets. As news broke of these revelations, Laura pondered whether justice was truly served. While Zachary and Emily faced lengthy sentences for their roles, she knew their capture was merely one victory in a much larger battle against corruption. The chapter closes with Detective Mills standing in reflection outside her office window as dusk settles over Pinewood Heights. Though she had brought closure to many affected by Zachary's betrayal, she understood that justice is an ongoing pursuit, a journey rather than a destination.